The Buzz, Australia's only live, interactive social media program on free-to-air TV, is proudly brought to you by ZNet, Australia's premier ISP for all of your high-speed home and business internet needs.
Actually haven't even opened the lid of my laptop. Hello and welcome to The Buzz, Perth's very own, potentially award-winning television show. Hello, Paul Cook.
How do you mean potentially? Is there an award we can go in? Can we go in the Logies?
Possibly. If you vote for us,
Do it.
or you can communicate with us anyway by jumping on Twitter using #TheBuzz, or you can go on Facebook and search for The Buzz and all that kind of stuff as well. We'd love to have your company. Hello, Candice Barnes.
Well, hello. I would nominate you guys for an award for least likely to shave next week, but that's fine.
Oh, that's
Thanks for making the effort, guys.
really not very fair. There's a lot to be said for facial hair. My wife loves it.
I shaved this
That's
morning,
great.
just not very much.
Yeah, and she loves your hair as well. Hey, did you know Twitter is 7 years old? Check this out. Yeah, 7 years. That's a hell of a long time and a heck of a lot of tweets from me anyway. I've done something like 70,000
Yeah,
tweets
but you
or something
have
now.
some tweet botty thing. When I first got onto Twitter, I
Yeah, don't
would
talk about that.
wonder how Jason liked tweets at 3 o'clock in the morning and does he
listen.
ever sleep?
Don't listen to him.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you can tweet anytime you like.
Anytime at all. And tweet now. Use #TheBuzz. We'll read out some of your favourite, or some of our favourite tweets, not your favourite tweets.
The question is, do you think it's really been the big social changer that some people claim it is? Or
I
not?
actually think that it has been a very, very big social change. And I know you're slightly more undecided about
Yeah, well,
that.
I wonder, because there was social change before social media. I think maybe it has influence, but I think to some degree we forget the fact that the world's always been a little tumultuous.
Yeah, well, that is true. And I have to admit that I was much in the same headspace as you until I read a really good article by the human headline himself, Darren Hinch, and he actually said that all that stuff that was happening in the Middle East a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
he put that down to social media and specifically Twitter.
But how?
I don't know. It was a very long article. I suggest that you do a search and go and find it for yourself because I just can't
Do
explain
the
it.
research.
Now, speaking all things Twitter, if you were following the #spill, you would have seen a whole lot about what just happened with the Australian Labor Party. Did you keep an eye on it?
Actually, Simon Crean, I don't think was going to raise any challenge until he started reading the tweets and thought, oh, well, it seems to be a thing. Interesting, though, there was a thing on Twitter a couple of days before it happened about a Canberra taxi driver saying there's going to be a big challenge coming. Then it took a couple of days, and then this crazy nothingness happened, because it really was the biggest non-event in Australian political history.
A storm in a teacup, wasn't it?
But it turns out, Lakita Berg summed it up nicely. If Crean had spoken to Rudd would have told him he would not have challenged. So don't bother calling the spill. And whipped Crean was the hashtag.
It just makes me wonder, was there anything more to it? Is this Machiavellian politics at its very best? And what we actually saw was just the tip of the iceberg.
Interesting, you wonder how much of this social media kind of stuff drives the discussion as well, you know, and makes people who are in precarious political positions become a bit jumpy.
Now, speaking of spills and Julia Gillard, what do you think the relationship is like between Julia Gillard, a Prime Minister that people don't like very much, and Kyle Sandilands, a FM jock that people don't like very much?
They get on like a house on fire.
Well, they do. Look, apparently, Kyle Sandilands had a visit and went and saw Julia Gillard.
I don't know a lot
It was
about
a little high tea, a
I
party
don't
of
know
some
a lot
description.
about this. I'm generally against politicians mixing with the rich and the famous anyway. I think more politicians should go to the Cannington Shopping Centre food hall and just sit there and mix with those people. They're the real Australians.
So they could have like a chair like Santa Claus has at Christmas time?
Absolutely.
People come and sit on their knee?
They come and sit on their knee and say, I'd like another baby bonus, please.
Do you have a photo there of... no, there isn't.
Kyle Sandilands? No, there isn't. There's just a little discussion about somebody calling it hypocrisy.
Yeah, well, it is. And if you want to see that, just do a search. I'm sure you know how to use the internet by now. All right, Candice, time for you to tell us a little bit about Facebook and how it builds our self-esteem.
Apparently, and add this one to the useless studies file, but someone gave some researchers somewhere some decent money in order to research the kind of thing that we already knew, that Facebook is good. We love Facebook. You know, where would we be without Facebook? We wouldn't have any idea when anyone's birthdays were or if someone was engaged or in a complicated relationship with whoever. But for some reason, these researchers have found that Facebook is good for our mental health. So going against the kind of common sense that we all go with, that, you know, if you spend too much time on the computer, it'll rot your brain, as some folks out there say. But apparently it is good for our self-esteem. Apparently it can boost our ego. I mean, see enough likes on your post, I guess that could do it for you. And is a source of self-affirmation, reminds us of our values, our goals and our relationships for people who we don't see every day.
Candice, what university did the study?
Probably the University of Crap Studies.
I'm thinking it's some sort of technology university just trying to drum up a bit of how cool is technology.
Oh gosh, didn't it work?
University.
They made the buzz now, haven't they?
They have.
They're going places. Speaking of going places, Brisbane, the city on the other side of Australia, in case you don't know what Brisbane is, you idiot, is apparently gearing itself up to ride this digital wave that we're riding at the moment, or so it hopes, with the release of the Digital Brisbane report this week. Among the things that it hopes to do is improve the speed and access of broadband around the city, which makes perfect sense. Some of the other things they want to do are offer grants to budding internet entrepreneurs to kind of position Brisbane as the place to be if you love the internet. And also, this one's a really good idea, new programs in libraries to teach young people how to master digital code. It's all quite positive for the young people out there. It is the way things are going, but most kids probably can just Google it and find out for themselves. But if they want to be a pro, then fine, that's all good. The parents themselves, though, maybe these kids, when they grow up, they'll be working in these digital fields, but for now they're just a big pain in the old butt to parents. And here's a song set to the tune of O Fortuna, an ode to sleep-deprived parents.
My head's so sore, look past the floor, cleaning will take forever. What's wrong with you? What did I do? Why do you do this to me? I hope when you have some kids too, they drive you crazy.
Yes, they do drive you crazy. Now, Paul, part of the reason we have you on this show is because I know that you've got a habit of surfing the most weird and inappropriate websites that exist.
And look, sadly, I can't bring them to you on this show in our 7 p.m. time slot. So what I do is I find some stuff that's more family friendly.
Right.
There's been a story this week, Jason. Imagine you're living with someone and she says to you, Jason, you're just a flatmate. There's nothing, going on. Jason, I really want to take some photos of you, but you have to wear a nappy and baby's clothes and suck your thumb a lot.
Okay.
You'd be in for it.
I'm in.
Anyway, Molly Thomas has done just that. She's a performer, she says.
Hang on. Do I have to, do a poo in the nappy?
Yeah, you do, probably. Whether you're cleaning it or she is, I don't know.
I'm in. Don't worry.
But anyway, Molly Thomas is currently enjoying dressing up her roommate, Mick Blair, because she's obviously had a look at Facebook, seen one too many baby photos, and decided to imitate the photos that she sees.
Why?
I don't know. I'm presuming she's annoyed, and this is some sort of satirical stab at the people who do it. Look, they're kind of okay. I think she probably could have picked a cuter roommate. But it's certainly, I guess, if you're showing grandma the internet, it's something you could do reasonably safely. And I hope to see actually as a craze catching on where maybe parents have crazy pictures of their kids and then decide perhaps to do one themselves.
So like, you know, the old planking stuff we used to do, we could now got babying.
Well, you know that one where they have that sleeping baby in the middle of the room with stuff everywhere and pool over the room? I'd like to see a grown-up try that one.
No. All right, moving right along. Candice, you're sticking with this Pinterest stuff that us blokes find terribly boring.
It's so exciting for us ladies because we just love pretty pictures of dresses and clothes and shoes and sunsets. It's pretty, just go with it.
Yeah, when we rehearsed that, it was a lot different.
As in, we don't rehearse things, we just go with the flow, that's fine. But anyway, I was talking about Pinterest, and for those who do like Pinterest, shut up guys. They've had a bit of a facelift. It's all quite exciting for people who enjoy a little bit of the old Pinterest. It makes the user experience cleaner, it's a lot easier to use. For example, when you click the back button on the browser, after you've been looking at all sorts of pretty things, you'll go back to the spot that you were actually looking at, instead of going back to the top of the page. Now, it might not sound like a lot, but it actually does make a bit of a difference. You'd have to scroll all the way back down again and figure out where you were at. It's all very pleasant indeed. Some of the more innovative discovery options include the ability to group pins by the source and also the ability to group pins by the board that they appear on. So you can see common sources. It makes it a lot easier for you to find the content that you're actually interested in. Speaking of something that I find boring, LinkedIn, apparently 4 million Australians don't find it boring. It's just hit the 4 million milestone.
Yeah, 3.9 million people who never, ever are going to go back there because it's the world's most boring website.
There's 20 people using it.
Well, apparently there are 2 million active users. So out of the 4 million who have signed up to the website, only around 2 million are classified as active. And interestingly enough, 1 million people have signed up for LinkedIn in the past 12 months, which is quite interesting.
But what's it for? What's it for? I've never been able to work it out. It's like just another social network that we don't need.
I actually met somebody the other day, I had lunch with them, who told me that they got their job partly through using LinkedIn.
Oh, rubbish. LinkedIn's well, I'll tell you what, tell us what you think of LinkedIn. Just use hashtag the buzz. Sorry, Candice.
That's all right. It's not something I'm hugely keen on. My concern is that, you know, we're putting your resume online, and I don't know if that's some information I want out there. But hey, there'll be some people, the movers and shakers of the world, that won't really care for it, so that's fine. Weather is one of the passions of my life and one of my reasons for living, and I love a good hailstorm. What would you say if you were caught in the middle of a hailstorm? Oh no, or oh awesome may spring to mind, but this woman decided the word kapooya.
Kabooyah! Kabooyah!
Really made it happen.
I overdosed and I thought it was the rain. Kapooya, kapooya. I called my mama. Stand in my restroom and I called my mama. Never been that scared before in my life. It was something serious, man. It was a disaster. Kapooya, kapooya. Kapooya, kapooya. I called my mama. Kapooya, kapooya. I called my mama. Kapooya, kapooya.